And now we're speaking to you from Bruce Field, where the Maybank Panthers are about to engage the Dawson Bulldogs in a bi-district encounter that will send one of the two teams a little bit further along the road to football fortune in the 1960 football season. The broadcast of this football game is being brought to you by Maybank sponsors: the Flanagan Chevrolet Company, the Security State Bank, the Tri-County Motors, the Boatwright Hardware Store, and the City Drug Store. Now here is the starting lineup for these two teams. The Panthers have been designated as the home team, so we'll give you their starting lineup to begin with. In the backfield for the Panthers will be Sanford Reed, Johnny Jenkins, and let me see, Jerry Groom and Billy Allgood. In the line for Maybank, at center will be Jerry Poole. At a tackle position will be Kenneth Gray. Also in the line at ends, Don Busby and Terry Thomas. At another tackle position, Jerry Brewer, and also Joe Carson in the line. Now for the Dawson Bulldogs, their starting lineup reads as follows. The right end will be Joel Sawyer. The left end will be Don Sawyer. Left guard for Jordan. At right guard, Gary Grice. At center, Ray Rogers. Left, Jamie Prater, I beg your pardon. At the right halfback position, Jerry Blissett. And at full, the coach for the Maybank Panthers consists of W.A. Allgood and Joe McGill. The managers are Jackson. For the Dawson team, Ed Burleson is head coach, Robert Kendall is the trainer, and Ronnie Davis. Hearing a bit of cheering from the students of the two schools, so we might as well go ahead and give you the cheerleaders respectively. Garden, Linda Busby, Mary J. Wheat, Judy Stegall, and Jan Killian. And for Dawson, Noel Newton, McKee, and Ivy. Now, the Dawson school does not have a band, so the music here tonight will be provided by Maybank. And the band director is Tommy Browning. The drum major, Jan Hatchell. The majorettes are Mary Lee Craig, Renell, Relaine Reynolds. Well, we mentioned just a moment ago that the Dawson school does not have a band, and a Malachi school band has been chosen and has consented to represent the school. Toss down on the field. The Dawson Bulldogs have won the toss and elected to receive, defending the goal to our west. And the Maybank Panthers will kick off, defending the goal to our left, the east. They're not too heavy in the line, and they do have quite a few fast backs, but we understand one of them is full tonight, and that will be Johnny Jenkins, one of their fastest boys. We understand that he has quite a ankle on, and bank team considerably, and the bigger and heavier Dawson Bulldog 11 is going to be favorite in this pregame lineup of the two teams. We're just about to kick off. This football game will be brought to you by the Flanagan Chevrolet Company of Maybank, and they're ready to tonight's Dawson bi-district game. Stop in tomorrow and get the thrill of a lifetime by test driving Chevrolet for 96. Let's see, number 32, that will be Don Busby, has teed the ball up on the 40, is advancing the ball now. The short kick, actually, and it's picked up by number 80, who juggles the ball more. Immediately in there by, let's see, Kenneth Gray and Jerry Groom. So it's setting up a 1st and 10 for the Dawson Bulldogs, and they own the ball on their own 24. They break out of the huddle now. The man under for them is Randy Howard, number 22. Howard hands off to his fullback. That would be number 40, Larry Murray. And Murray is brought under as he tries to go around the right side by, let's see, Joe Carson, 175-pounder. It's a pickup of 5, bring up second and about 5. There's the same play to the right side this time, but that is stacked up immediately in there by Robert Maybank. It was Larry Murray taking the handoff from Randy Howard and trying the left side of the line. There was nothing there for him, and he may have lost about a yard. Back to the 32 is where the ball is. Set up a third and about 7 needed for a first down. Dawson breaks out of the huddle, up and over the ball. Howard is the man under. He is back to pass, looking for a receiver. He throws. It's going to be way too tall for the intended receiver, Goldman Blackburn, across the way. And in there with Blackburn was Joe Carson. With him all the way, the ball was too tall for either of them. Falls incomplete and brings up 4th and 7, stopping the clock at 10 minutes and 52 seconds still to go in this first period of play. So, of course, this is going to be a punting situation for the Dawson Bulldogs, and back to punt is Joel Sawyer. He'll be standing on his own 18, and there's the snap, and he just barely gets that one away as Maybank boys are rushing in there rather fast. The ball hits on the Maybank 44 or 45. Actually, it's going to be about the 43, and it is down there by one of the Dawson boys, Gary Grice, who's downfield fast on that. So here's going to be the first offensive play of the night for the Maybank Panthers, and they'll be 1st and 10 on their own 43. T formation. The man under is Billy Allgood. The pitchback this time goes to Johnny Jenkins. Jenkins around the left side across the midfield stripe up to the 49, and he's finally wheeled down in there by Randy Howard. A nice pickup on the play by Jenkins, and let's see, it's to the 49. Actually, call that the 48, and call it a 9-yard pickup, bring up 2nd and just 1 yard needed for a first down. So the Panthers have really started off with a spurt. Allgood getting to his fullback. That is Sanford Reed, 165-pounder, and to the left side, however, there is a flag on the play. Newton Matthews stacks up the play after a gain of about 3 yards up to the 45. And let's see with whom the option is going to rest. Evidently against Maybank, because we see that the rest of the team is moving back downfield as, well, just a moment now. It is going to be a 5-yard penalty against Dawson. Evidently, Maybank thought that the penalty was going to be against them also, because the boys have moved back upfield, but it's 5 yards against Dawson for offside. Moving the ball up to the Dawson 43, setting up a 1st and 10 for the Maybank Panthers. Allgood calling the signals in the huddle there, and there's one of the boys. Joe Carson was really in a hurry to get back in that ball game. He wandered away from the huddle and had to be called back in by Allgood. Set up a T formation now. Allgood, the man under. He pitches back to number 31, who comes wide around the right side of the line, and boy, he is upended. That 31, of course, is Jerry Groom, and making the stop on him was Goldman Blackburn. However, not until he had picked up about 4 or 5 yards up to the 34, the 39, call it. So it is a 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6 needed. Allgood under in the T, and Johnny Jenkins evidently missing a signal there. Now he's lined up in his right capacity. The pitchback goes to the fullback once again, and he is through that line and down to the 30. Making the stop on him was Jamie Prater and Randy Howard, and that was Sanford Reed barreling through there, getting the ball squarely to the 30-yard line. Of course, that sets up a 1st and 10. 9 minutes and 8 seconds still to go in this first period of play, and the Maybank Panthers are really rolling, starting on their own 42. They're now on the Dawson 30. 1st and 10. Allgood calling the signals, taking the ball from center. Up there's a brief mix-up in the line. Allgood drops the ball but grabs it before it can be recovered by Dawson, and there is a flag on the play. In there fast on Allgood was number 77, A.L. Jacobs. And let's see with whom the option rests on this play. If the play is allowed to stand, it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 because there was actually nothing gained, but it looks like it's going to be a penalty against Dawson. That's just exactly what it is. 5 yards down to the 25 for offsides once again. So set up a 1st and 5 instead of 2nd and 10. Those halfbacks are really split wide, and the Maybank T in motion is Johnny Jenkins. However, the give is to Reed. Reed into the left side of that line, and there are several of the boys in there to hit him hard. Chiefly among them was Newton Matthews, who was the ringleader of the game. It was yardage picked up very briefly down to about the 23. And now once more a discussion is in progress. And it looks like it's going to be yardage against the Panthers this time as the ball is brought back up to the original line of scrimmage, the 30, and it was backfield in motion, so bring up 1st and 10. So the last 2 plays have actually accomplished nothing whatsoever except to put a penalty against each team, a 5-yarder. Now wait just a minute. Wait, we have offsetting penalties on that. Offsetting penalties, so let's make it 1st and 5 again. This is going to be a confusing night, I can tell that. Oops, they fumbled in the Maybank backfield. And I believe Allgood is the lad who recovered it, attempting to pitch back. Ray Rogers was the man who was in there on him fast, but Allgood recovered back on the 29, a loss of about 4 yards on the play, so bring up 2nd and 9, now needed for a 1st down. 8.5 minutes still to go in this first period. Allgood under. He gives to Reed. Reed trying the right side, and there are a bunch of those Dawson boys in there to bring him down. And the first one to him was Joel Sawyer, number 84. Pick up on the play of a couple up to the 27, and it's going to call for a 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7 for the Maybank Panthers. And leading them out of their huddle is Jerry Brewer. Allgood under. Pitches back to Reed. Reed gives off to Jenkins. Jenkins in there fast and like a jackrabbit high into the air, but he comes down hard after picking up about 5. And Don Sawyer is the man who grabbed him in midair and pulled him out of orbit down back onto the field at the 23. And it's going to set up 4th down and still about 3 yards needed for a 1st. Actually about 2.5. Call it 3 to be on the even side. Squarely in front of the goalpost, the ball lies. Equidistant between the 17.5-yard markers. And they're lining up in a T formation. They're going to go for that 3 yards. Reed gets the call. He's into the left side of the line, but I don't think he made it. The first Dawson Bulldog to him was Ray Rogers, and he grabbed him in midair as he tried to hurdle himself through for a 1st down. He didn't make it. He was short about a yard, so give it to the Bulldogs now, and it's 1st and 10 from their own 21. Larry Murray was also in on that stop with Rogers. Still 7 minutes to go in this first period of play. Scoreless as yet. The Bulldogs lining up in their tee, and there is a fast pass out to the left side, and that boy is really rambling. That is Joe Sawyer, and I believe there was a fumble on that play. The pass was from Howard to Sawyer, and there was a big mix-up on that one as it finally terminated up around the 35, but there was a recovery on the part of the Dawson Bulldogs on the 32, so it's going to be 1st and 10. Say, my friend, if you're in the market for a better car, new or used, I can think of no better place for you to start shopping than Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Maybank. Go by tomorrow, feast your eyes on the greatest show on Worth, the 1961 Chevrolet, or take your pick of any of the really fine OK used cars that you'll find on the lot at Flanagan Chevrolet. When you pay money for a car, you certainly want a dollar's worth of car for every dollar you spend, and that's exactly what you get with an OK used car from Flanagan. So stop in tomorrow. That's the Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Maybank.
1st and 10. Lining up wide to the right. There's Golden Blackman. And there's a give into the fullback. That is Larry Murray. Murray hard into the right side of that line. Picks up yardage until he is finally wheeled down out there by, we're going to have to get that number. Number 29. And that is Don Reynolds. The pick up on the play of about 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The line of scrimmage now is the 37. And coming out wide is Don Sawyer this time. They feed in there to that fullback once again, and he's off to the races. But he is brought down in there real hard by number 31, Jerry Groom. Groom threw himself in front of him, and let's see, who was that? Who was the ball on that run? I mean, he was flat moving. That was Larry Murray. He burst through the right side of that line, and he was off to the races. And the ball is in play on the 27. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dawson Bulldogs at that point. See the greatest show on Worth, the new 1961 Chevrolet at Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Maybank. Yes, it's on their showroom floor now in all its beauty, all its splendor. And man, oh man, when you test drive this 1961 Beauty by Chevrolet, you'll find it hugs the road the way you want it to. It parks easily, it's fun to drive. So stop in tomorrow at Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Maybank. See and test drive Chevy for 61. Choose from sedans, station wagons, and a whole host of body styles and colors. Get the best this year. Get the new 1961 Chevrolet at Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Maybank. Back into play once again, and that one was really mopped up at the very outset. The give went off to Larry Murray from Randy Howard, and he was stacked up as he hit that line by, let's see, number 26 and 22. That is going to be Jerry Poole and Kenneth Gray. No yardage whatsoever gained on that play. In fact, they may have lost a foot. So it's second and still call it 10, needed for a first down. Randy Howard, the man under, in the Dawson tee. The give is to number 40, and that is Murray. Hard into the right side of that line once again across the 25, down to the 24, and he is met hard at that point by, let's see, Kenneth Gray, and also in on the stop was Jerry Brewer. Flanagan Chevrolet Company of Maybank is happy to present this portion of tonight's Maybank-Dawson by-district game. Stop in tomorrow and get the thrill of a lifetime by test driving Chevrolet for 61. No score in our football game as yet. Still 5 minutes and 6 seconds to go in this first period of play. 3rd and 6 now needed for the Dawson Bulldogs. They have set up shop on the Maybank 24. A beautiful run in there by Larry Murray just a few moments ago, bursting through the right side of that line and carrying the mail about 25 or 30 yards downfield to put them in their present position. Howard is the man under, and it looks like it's going to be another one of those passes. Was it complete? It was complete, it appears. No, just a moment. It was complete to Prater out on the far sideline at the 15, and let's see, Prater was hustled out of bounds immediately, but it's going to be enough for a first down, so set up 1st and 10 for the Dawson Bulldogs, and they own the ball on the Maybank 15, just 15 yards away from the double stripe. And this, of course, is a penetration, as the penetrations are all important in these by-district games. And the handoff this time goes to Goldman Blackburn. And let's see, Johnny Jenkins is the boy who moves in front to force him down after he picks up very, very short yardage, just inside the 15 actually, because he was hit hard as he took the handoff from Howard. Howard rounding that right side of the line, and he's brought down, but not until he picks up yardage inside the 5. He's inside the 5 to about the 4. Howard makes the stop. It's going to be plenty for a first down, set up 1st and goal on the Maybank 4. Still 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go. Howard was horsed out of bounds hard on the far side of the field. He was setting that sideline marker right down that field and trying to get into the end zone, but he didn't make it. And there's a touchdown this time, though. Larry Murray taking a handoff from Howard and bursting into the end zone, dragging a few of those gallant defenders in that Maybank line with him. They tried to stop him, but Murray had up ahead of steam and moved into the end zone for 6 points, and that will, of course, set up the point or points after yet to come. 4 minutes and 9 seconds still remaining in the first period of play, and Dawson has taken over a 6-0 lead, and they're going to try for 2. Howard passing complete. And it's into the end zone, complete to Joel Sawyer, and makes the score 8 for Dawson and nothing for the Maybank Panthers. Flanagan Chevrolet Company of Maybank extends its congratulations to the Maybank Panthers on a very successful season, and of course they wish them well in tonight's game. Now, if you want to make a successful, satisfactory trade on a new Chevrolet or on an okay used car, see C.H. Pascal at the Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Malakoff. And for expert repair on your car, regardless of the make or model, drive it into Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Maybank. They have a fully equipped, well-manned service department to take care of your needs. Be sure to see the 61 Chevy tomorrow at the Flanagan Chevrolet Company in Maybank. And it appears that Howard, among his other chores, is also going to take over the kicking off duties. There's the whistle. Howard advances on the ball. He kicks, and it's a nice high end-over-end kick going way downfield. Taken at the 5 by Johnny Jenkins. Jenkins back up to the 15, sidestepping, moving hard, and he's finally brought down in there by Milford Jordan, and also on the stop was Joel Sawyer. Out on the 19, call it the 20, because it is just barely shy of the 20. 1st and 10 for Maybank. They own the ball on their own 20. 3 minutes and 57 seconds still remain in a very exciting first period of football. Dawson 8, Maybank nothing at this point. Our man under is Billy Allgood. Allgood is pitching back to Reed. Reed is throwing downfield. It's way down. Oh, it's a beautiful pitch in there. And is he going to make it? No, he couldn't get away. Oh, what a beautiful play. Making the stop on him was Randy Howard. I believe it was Howard. Making that catch was Joe Carson. Sanford Reed took the handoff from Billy Allgood. He passed far downfield to Joe Carson. Carson took it at the midfield stripe, and he got it down to the Dawson 26 before he was brought down from behind by Randy Howard, and that's going to set the Maybank Panthers up in business with a 1st and 10 at this point. The line of scrimmage, remember, is the Dawson 26. 3 minutes and 20 seconds still to go in this first period. T formation for Maybank. Allgood giving to Reed. Reed finding a nice gaping hole in the right side of that line, and he moves inside it across the 20. And he's stopped by Don Sawyer. And let's see if that is inside the 20. Of course, that is going to be a penetration. It's on the 19. Joel Sawyer also in on that stop. So penetrations are even at 1-1. However, Dawson has 8 points at this time to none for the Maybank Panthers, but they look like they mean business. Oh, my goodness, that was fast. Getting through that line like a streak of light was Jerry Groom. And Groom got almost over that goal line before he was hammered down. And I think he took Dawson by surprise, too. Oh, my goodness. He is down to the 3, apparently, is where that ball lies. That was a quick opener, and I mean Jerry Groom was gone like a streak of light. And these Maybank partisans are hollering, go, go, go. Allgood, the man under. And on a keeper, I don't think he went anywhere. There are red flags all over the field. Gary Grice moved in fast there to stop her Allgood, to keep him from going over. But there are red flags on the play, and the option rests with whom? I believe Dawson was offside on that. Offside against Dawson is refused, so there must have been a little yardage picked up. Down to the 1. That's where that ball is. It's 2nd and 1. 1 yard, 36 inches to pay dirt. The give is to Reed. Reed is in. Reed taking that handle off from Mr. Allgood, and he hammered over the left side of the line, and brother, he picked up the 6 points. Ray Rogers trying valiantly to keep Reed from getting in there, but Reed's projectile-like takeoff over the left side of that line put him right in the end zone for 6 points, and of course they're going to have to go for 2. Or are they? No, they're going to try for 1. They're going to play it safe. No, they're going to try to run it. Number 41, and is into the end zone. Yes, he is. Joe Carson. Joe Carson had lined up back there as if to kick the ball, which would have been held by Jesse Warburton. But instead, the snap was directly to Joe Carson, and he rounded the left side of that line and pulled into Gory Land to tie the game up at 8 for the Maybank Panthers and 8 for the Dawson Bulldogs. So we got a new game once again, 1 penetration per team, 8 points per team, an 8-8 football game at this point. Flanagan Chevrolet Company of Maybank is happy to present this portion of tonight's Maybank-Dawson by-district game. Be sure to stop in tomorrow and get the thrill of a lifetime by test driving Chevrolet for 1961. About to make the kickoff for the Maybank Panthers is Don Lusby. There's the whistle. Lusby advances on the ball. It's a wavering kick going down to the 20. It's hit there. Oh, he is hit too. My goodness, that was Goldman Blackburn. And in fast on Goldman Blackburn was, I believe, Jerry Groom. It was Groom. And Blackburn was having just a little bit of trouble picking that ball up, and Groom hit him and hammered him down to earth on the, 11? It appears to be about the 11. So set up a 1st and 10 for Dawson, and they own the ball deep in their own territory at the 11. Howard, the man under, in the Dawson tee. And there's a pass downfield, and a fumble, and who recovered? Oh, my goodness. It is a Maybank recovery. The pass was complete to number 84. That was Joel Sawyer. Sawyer. Sawyer was hit hard on the far side of the field. The ball squirted out of his hands and was recovered by one of the Maybank Panthers, and there was such a mad scramble for it. I'm sorry to say that we didn't get the lad's name, but it's going to be Maybank's ball, 1st and 10. They own it on the Dawson 16. Really an opportunistic football team, the Maybank Panthers. 1st and 10 for Maybank as they break out of the huddle up and over the ball. The ball is on the Dawson 16. Allgood, the man under, in the tee, and the give is to the left halfback. Just a moment. We're going to have to find out who that is. I believe it was Groom. It was Jerry Groom carrying the mail on the left side of that line. Ray Rogers makes the stop at the pickup of about 3 inside the 15 to the 13. And, of course, this is going to have to count as a penetration because Maybank owns the ball inside the Dawson 20. 2nd and 7. Allgood calling the signals, pitching it back to Groom. Groom going down the right side, still on his feet, and he is hit and brought down in there by Randy Howard. Roaming as a defensive back in there, bringing him down on the 6 or 7, but there are red flags on the play. And it's penalty distance against Dawson. Offsides, refused. 1st and goal. 1st and goal for Maybank. And the ball is on the 5. On the 4, actually. It's inside the 5. 1st and goal from the 4. A minute and 17 seconds to go in this thrill-packed first quarter of football. And those Maybank fans are yelling, go, go, go. Back to Johnny Jenkins. And Jenkins is grabbed by Randy Howard. That Howard is all over the field. And let's see, there may have been yardage lost on that play. About a yard back to the 5, and it's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 5. Jenkins carrying that ball on the last play, re-injured. That ankle of his, really heavily taped. However, he is helped off the field there by head coach Allgood, and in to replace him is Henry Hyde at the right halfback position. 2nd and goal from the 5. Allgood giving off to Reed, I believe. Reed trying hard at that right side. Is piled up in there by Jamie Prater and Joel Sawyer. And I don't believe there was any yardage at all picked up on that play. 3rd and still 5. 50 seconds to go. The Maybank cheering section and the band asking for 6 points. Billy Allgood, the man under, setting out wide to the left. The pitch back to Reed. Reed looking for a receiver. He throws way too tall for its intended receiver, and that would be Don Busby. Randy Howard was in there to contend with Busby for that ball, but it was a little bit too high. Going into the game now is Jesse Wolverton, and he has replaced Billy Allgood. And with that ball close to the goal line, it's possible they could try for a field goal. However, that's purely problematical, because the kicking of the field goal is practically a lost art in high school football these days, but it looks like that's what they're going to try. Jesse Wolverton to hold, and Joe Carson evidently to try for a 3-pointer. The ball is snapped, placed down. It's squarely through the uprights, but there are red flags on the play. Offsides against whom? Against Dawson, it looks like, so the 3 points will stand up if that's what the deal is, unless the Panthers elect to take that penalty and try for 6 points, because that would put them about 2.5 or 3 yards closer to that goal line. So that's quite a discussion going on out there, whether Maybank wants to take the sure 3 points or try for a theoretical 6 or 8. They have refused the penalty, so that makes the score still 11 for Maybank and 8 for the Dawson Bulldogs, with only 26 seconds remaining in the first period of play. 19 points already scored in this thrilling by-district battle between Maybank and Dawson. So, of course, this was a score, and it means that the Maybank Panthers are going to kick off once again. Don Reynolds has been replaced in the lineup for Maybank by Kenneth Gray, and Busby has teed the ball up on the 40 and is awaiting the official's whistle. There is the whistle. Busby advances on the ball. It's another of those sidewinding kicks that is picked up down on the 30 by Goldman Blackburn. Blackburn back upfield, getting to the 32 or 3 before he is... No, Larry Murray is the man who got that. And he's back up to the 33 before he's finally brought down over there by a host of Maybank Panthers. Henry Hyde in on the stop, and also Joe Carson. Still 15 seconds remaining. And, of course, Dawson's going to have time for at least one more play in this first period. Howard, the man under, and he's back to pass. He looks, throws. It's going to be too tall for its intended receiver, Joe Sawyer, up around the Maybank 45, and then there to contend with him for that ball was Jerry Groom, but it was too tall, fell incomplete. So it's second and still 10 needed for a first down. Only 5 seconds remain in the first period. Dawson is out of the huddle, up and over the ball. Howard under. He fakes another handoff, and he's back to pass, but he's knocked down. One of his own men is knocked into him. Jamie Prater was hit hard by a hard-charging Maybank Panther, and Prater was slammed into Howard and knocked Howard down. And there goes Johnny Jenkins hobbling back onto the field. He is going to replace Henry Hyde in the Maybank lineup. The score at the end of the first period of play, 11 for Maybank, 8 for Dawson. And, of course, this first period of play was brought to you by the Flanagan Chevrolet Company of Maybank. And now as we get the second period of play underway, we'd like to remind you that this portion of the Maybank-Dawson game will be presented by the Security State Bank of Maybank. Use their checking account, savings account, auto and appliance financing facilities. Make the Security State Bank of Maybank your bank. The loss on that last play was 8 yards, and it is going to be 3rd and 18 for the Dawson Bulldogs, owning the ball on their own 34. Howard the man under, but the snap goes instead to a deep man, and the kick is up to the 40. It was a quick kick and was taken in there by Don Busby. And Busby is hammered down hard in there by Joel Sawyer. Actually, it was just a line drive that just barely did clear the line of scrimmage. And so it is Maybank's ball, 1st and 10, and they own it on the Dawson 43. Now there's some sort of a discussion going on. There was a red flag up on the 31. And it's going to be a clipping penalty set against the Maybank Panthers. So Dawson, of course, wants that 15 yards because that's going to set Maybank back upfield about 4 yards up to the 46. However, it is still Maybank's ball, and it's 1st and 10 from that point. 1st and still 10 from the Dawson 46. The play squarely in front of us. Billy Allgood is under. He gives off to Groom. Groom is hit hard in there, actually horse-collared by A.L. Jacobs, picking up not much, about a foot, actually, if that's where the ball is going to be placed down, just about a foot. So 2nd and still 10 needed for the first. The ball still on the 46, call it. The Security State Bank is a modern bank, serving the financial needs of the Maybank area. They invite you to stop in soon and open your checking account with them so that you can do as many people do. Pay your bills the modern, safe, convenient way with a check from the Security State Bank of Maybank. Or open that savings account today to save for the things you'll want tomorrow. The Security State Bank also invites you to investigate their low bank rates the next time you plan to purchase an automobile or a major appliance. There are no hidden charges on loans at the Security State Bank in Maybank. 2nd and 10 for Maybank as they break out of the huddle. The ball on the Dawson 46. Allgood, the man under. Flanked out to the left is Jenkins. Back to pass is Reed. He throws. Oh, almost intercepted in there by number 62. That is Milford Jordan. It was intended downfield for number 41, Joe Carson. Carson was down there, but the ball would have been in his hands, I believe, if Milford Jordan hadn't moved in on it. So that stops the clock with 11 minutes and 29 seconds still to go in this first half of play, and it brings up 3rd and 10. And the Maybank tee is set to the right this time. Allgood under. Faking to Carson, giving instead to Johnny Jenkins, and Jenkins hobbling into the left side of that line, picks up about 5 or 6 down inside the 40 to the 39 before A.L. Jacobs horses him down. Pick up on the play of 7, bring up 4th, and still 3 needed for a first.
Are they going to try for it? No, it looks like they're going to kick. And is that Joe Carson back to punt? It is Joe. Hard to see his number. He's standing on his own 49. The ball is snapped. Got all the time in the world. He kicks, and Randy Howard watches it go into the end zone. So it's going to go automatically come back out to the 20, making it a 19-yard kick off the toe of Joe Carson. So 1st and 10 for the Dawson Bulldogs now. Still 10 minutes and 54 seconds to go in this game. 11 for the Maybank Panthers and 8 for the Dawson Bulldogs. Dawson scored first, but the Maybank Panthers clawed their way back from behind. Howard giving off to his fullback. That is number 40, Larry Murray. Murray hard on the left side of that line. And he meets some pretty stomp opposition in there. By, let's see, number 21, Sanford Reed, and Kenneth Freisch, number 39. Pick up on the play of about 4 yards, 2nd and 6 coming up. All good. Back to pass. He's being pursued hotly back there. He gets back to the line of scrimmage and picks up maybe about 4. Up to the 30, no, call that the 28. Randy Howard pulling that ball downfield, looking for a pass receiver, running all the time, moving past the line of scrimmage up to the 28. Call it the, well, it is the 28, so it's 3rd and still about 2 yards needed for a first down. Exactly 10 minutes to go in the first half. Dawson trailing 11-8 at this point. Howard, the man under. Giving off to number 40 once again. That's Larry Murray. Murray carrying the mail across the line of scrimmage, across the 30, out to the 32 before Johnny Jenkins. And let's see, also in on the stop was Don Reynolds and Joe Carson. Pick up 4 on the play, set up 1st and 10 for Dawson. They own the ball on their own 32. Bulldogs take a long time in that huddle, carefully discussing this play. Howard, back to pass. No, he's going to run it around that left side. And in there to slap him out of bounds on the far side of the field was Robert Eubank. And I mean, he put a shoulder into him. Also in on the play was Sanford Reed. Reed and Eubank, and they hustled him out of bounds after he picked up 5 out to the 37. So it's 2nd and 5 now needed for a first down. 9 minutes and 10 seconds. 9 minutes, 13 seconds still to go. And we see that Johnny Reynolds is on hand to take photographic action of tonight's game. And a give to Larry Murray. Murray trying the right side of the line. Picks up yardage out past the 40. And let's see, Don Reynolds makes a stop on him. Also in on there, Sanford Reed and Joe Carson. Not going to be enough for a first down, it looks like, so it's going to be 3rd and still about 1.5 needed for a first down. The Security State Bank of Maybank certainly wants to add its name to the list of supporters of the Maybank Panthers. They congratulate them on their fine season this year and wish them all the luck in the world in tonight's by-district affair. And you'll find that your financial well-being is a lot more successful when you open your savings account at the Security State Bank in Maybank. A savings account can help you have the things you want, a home of your own, a new car, and many other needed items. Stop in tomorrow at the Security State Bank of Maybank and open your convenient insured savings account. You'll be glad you did. 3rd and still about 1 yard needed for that first down now, 1.5. And a keeper by Howard. He's around the right side across the midfield stripe, and he may be gone all the way. I think he's going to make it. I don't think anybody's fast enough to catch him. He did, boy. He certainly did go 47. Now let's see, about 47.5 yards on that touchdown scamper around the right side of the line, and believe me, that play unfolded fast, and Howard was off to the races. And that brings the score up now to 15-11 in favor of Dawson, and they still got a point or point after yet to come. Ooh, that Howard boy is fast. They're going to try for 2. And the give is over to number 40, Murray. Murray didn't make it. So that gives them a 3-point bulge.
And those Maybank Panthers stacked up in front of Larry Murray and would not let him cross that line. Sanford Reed, Joe Carson. Well, let's see. Who else was in on that stop? There's Don Reynolds and also Robert Eubank. And there were several more in there, too. So that leaves the score now 14 for Dawson, 11 for the Maybank Panthers. And they got to fight their way back from behind once again. They did it before. Went out in the lead by 3 points. Now they're trailing by 3. Teeing the ball up is Randy Howard. I think he does just about everything for the Dawson Bulldogs. Calls the signals, carries the ball, passes it, he can kick it, he kicks it off. One really fine football player, Mr. Randy Howard. Of course, each of these teams is composed of several good boys. There's the whistle. Howard advances on the ball, a high end-over-end kick being taken down on the 10 by Johnny Jenkins. Jenkins fast upfield, and like a jackrabbit leaps over a pile-up at the 35 and is finally brought to earth by Milford Jordan and Jerry Blissett. Out to the 38. At the 38. First and 10 for Maybank from that point. This portion of tonight's Maybank-Dawson game is being presented by the Security State Bank of Maybank. Use their checking account, savings account, auto and appliance financing facilities. Make the Security State Bank of Maybank your bank. Johnny Jenkins hurt once again on that last play there, and he hurt pretty bad. He's being helped off the field out there. There's a give off from Allgood. Taking the handoff was, let me see, Joe Carson running from the right halfback position. Bill Humbert making the stop after a pickup on the play out to the 41. And it brings up a second and 7 situation. 8 minutes, 15 seconds to go in this first half. Billy Allgood calling the signals, taking the ball. Pitching it back to Reed. Reed is, there's a fumble. Reed hit hard, and the ball squirts out of his hands and is recovered by Howard. By George, he's all over that field. On the 46, Randy Howard making that recovery. One of their top defensive and one of their top offensive aces, Randy Howard. Certainly in on every defensive play out there this evening, and of course in on every offensive play, in as much as he is the quarterback. Reed hit very hard, and the ball squirted out of his hands. Howard picked it up. First and 10, Dawson on the Maybank 46. Howard calling the signals. Giving off to number 41. That is Goldman Blackburn into the left side of the line, across the 45, up to the 42. And let's see, Sanford Reed is the man who puts the stopper on him at that point. Reed playing a very good defensive game, also a crackerjack offensive. And let's see, there has been a timeout requested for an equipment repair. Add prestige to your financial affairs. Pay your bills by check from the Security State Bank of Maybank. When you do, you eliminate the necessity of keeping those bulky bills that pile up so fast. You have a complete record of where the money went and for what. What's more, you can pay those bills comfortably no matter what the weather from your own home. And your cancel check is proof positive of the payment of a bill. And when you buy that new car or major appliance, tell the man you want to finance it the modern way, through the facilities of the Security State Bank of Maybank. Let's see who the young gentleman is down there getting an equipment repair. That is Jerry Brewer, 175-pound tackle, I believe. And Brewer and, yes it is Jerry. One of the lads there collided rather heftily on that last play, and I believe he may have lost a chin strap in the encounter or broke one. Pick up on the play of 4, second and 6 now coming up. 7 minutes, 20 seconds still to go in this first half of play. Flanked out wide to the right is Joel Sawyer. And out wide to the left is Goldman Blackburn. Taking the ball from center is Howard. He gives off to number 40, Larry Murray. Murray hard on the left side of that line. May have gotten a yard, but not much more than that. And there on the stop was Jerry Poole, and let's see, Jerry Brewer. 2 Jerrys, and there was absolutely no gain on the play whatsoever. So third and still those 6 yards needed. Now there's a flanker to the right now. Comes Jamie Prater. Taking a couple of handoffs, back to pass, and flew back on the 50 and back into his own territory to the 48. And in there hard on him were Poole, and let's see, Brewer once again, I believe. No, it's Joe Carson. Poole and Carson, and also, let's see, number 39, Kenneth Frost. And they rushed Howard hard. He couldn't find a receiver open, and he didn't have any running room, so he just had to eat it back on his own 49. Fourth down coming up, and it's from the line of scrimmage. However, it's going to be a quick kick off the side of the toe of Larry Murray, and the ball is hitting on the 10, the 15. Let's see, it's going to die just about the 12.
Ball is long out
And it's going to be a long way to go for the Maybank Panthers from their own 13. 6 minutes and 4 seconds still to go in this first half. Maybank trailing by a score of 14-11, and they're 87 long yards from that double stripe.
First down at 10 on their own 13.
They're out of the huddle now. Billy Allgood, the man under, calling the signals. Joe Carson in motion. The pitch back is to Carson. Carson coming around the right side. There's a brief hole, the left side rather, and he spurts forward up to the 20 before he is brought into by Don Sawyer. Pick up on the play of about 7 yards. Bring up second, and let's see. Oh, wait a minute, is that the 15 or the 20? It's the 15, so actually there weren't but about 2 yards picked up on the play. So call it second, and still 8 needed for our first. James Hoke also in on that last tackle. Or Hook or Houck, whichever way it goes. The pitch back this time is to number 31, and that was Jerry Groom. Groom off and running, but there's a red flag on the play as Groom clears the line of scrimmage and hit by Joel Sawyer, picking up maybe 2 or 3. The discussion is proceeding under a full head of steam out there around the 16 or 17. And we'll have to wait and see with whom the option rests. It's going to be against Maybank. Starting from the 15, the ball is thrown back to the what?
For illegal procedure.
Back to the 12.
And just about 10.
So it's going to be second and still about 10 yards needed for a first down. A rather peculiar penalty. In motion was Jerry Groom, but the play went to, let's see whom. Number 41, Joe Carson, and Carson is hit down hard by Randy Howard, roaming in that backfield. And let's see, on the 20. There's another penalty upcoming against Maybank. They're having a hard time getting out from around that 10. Back down to the 5 or 6. There is offensive holding. That pushes them way back to the what? About the 6, it looks like. 6 or 5. Rather hard to determine from this angle. Call it the 5. A give off this time to Joe Carson, and Carson, stumbled and fell down after being hit there. He was in the clear, but he fell. And in there to make the tackle secure was Milford Jordan. And yardage was picked up out to the 19, it looks like. So it's third and about 4 or 5 yards needed for a first. Call it 5. Third and 5. All good. And he was left all by himself in that backfield. Everybody took off to the right, and Allgood was left all by himself. Newton Matthews, the first man to get to him, and dropped him back on the 15. Everybody in the line took off to their right. And the discussion is not going to be in favor of Maybank. Offside. Illegal procedure is refused by Dawson, of course, due to the loss on the play. And it's going to bring up fourth and still about 6 or 7 yards needed for a first down. So dropping back to punt is Joe Carson, standing on about his own 5. A nice snap from center. Carson controls it, gets his toe into the ball. Randy Howard takes it on the Maybank 47, and he may be gone. No. He is wheeled down on the far side of the field in there by Mr. Reed. Sanford Reed on the 19-yard line. But what? There is a flag out on the 36. And we'll have to wait and see with whom the option rests here. Evidently, it's going to be against Dawson because the ball is being brought back up to where that red flag is, and they're stepping off 5. It's going to be a 15-yarder against Dawson and put the ball back across the midfield stripe on Dawson's own 49. No, squarely on the midfield stripe for clipping. Actually, it looks like about a 14-yard penalty. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and it's 50 yards to the double stripe for the Dawson Bulldogs. 1st and 10, they own the ball squarely on the midfield stripe. And there is already a tired bunch of boys out there on both teams. They have played a bang-up game so far. And I'll bet you we're going to see a lot more football before this evening is over with. Howard faking to one man, giving to another, and that is Murray, Larry Murray, bursting hard into the right side of that line, clearing the ball up to the 40 before he is hit in there by Robert Eubank and Kenneth Fresh. And it is close to a first down. And it's going to be close enough that they're going to have to bring the chain out to determine whether or not it is a first down. In there to watch things go is Ray Rogers for the Dawson Bulldogs and Joe Carson for the Maybank Panthers. It's short about a foot. So bring up 2nd and inches. 2nd and inches needed for that first down. Ball just outside the Maybank 40. Howard keeping into the right side of the line, picks up about 4 before he is hammered down in there by number 21. That is Sanford Reed, and also Joe Carson, 41 and 21. 1st and 10 from the 36, and Maybank's end of the field. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this first half of play. 14 for Dawson, 11 for Maybank at this point. Howard calling the signals, taking, giving off to Murray. Murray into the right side of that line once again and brought down in there by, let's see, 25, 29, and 21. We're going to get those Sanford Reed, Robert Eubank, and Don Reynolds. Pick up on the play to the 28. About 9 yards picked up, 2nd and 1 now needed for a first down. Exactly 3 minutes remaining in the first half of play. The tee is flat across the top for Dawson. And there is, a big pile up in that backfield. The give was off to Goldman Blackburn, and Blackburn was hit down hard in there by Jerry Brewer. And let's see, also in on the stop was Kenneth Gray and Robert Eubank. Absolutely no yardage picked up. 3rd and still at 1 necessary. The give was off to Blackburn after a fake to Murray, and Blackburn ran into trouble immediately. Howard calling the signals. And the give is out to Murray. Murray trying to pick up that first down. He may have gotten it. Let's see what his point of forward progress is. It's going to be close enough that they're going to have to bring the chain in. It's up near the 25. And we see that Johnny Jenkins has come back in once again. He is replacing Charles Langford, number 36, or 38. We have 2 38s on our program. It is a first down. He's replacing either Henry Hyde or Robert Manning. It's rather difficult for us to tell just which is which on that because there's only about 5 pounds difference in the two boys, and they're both ends and both weigh the same number according to our program. There evidently is some sort of a mix-up in the printing. Howard is back to pass. Now he's going to run it. And he's pushed out of bounds on the far side of the field by number 25, Robert Eubank. And he is pushed out on the 15 and leaves 2 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. It is enough for a first down, evidently. The ball squarely on the 15. They were just outside the 25 on the previous play, so it's 1st and 10 once again for the Dawson Bulldogs, being rather ably led by Randy Howard. Howard taking. Giving off to Murray after a fake, rather to Blackburn after a fake to Murray. No, it's the other way around. To Murray after a fake to Blackburn, and making the stop on him was Don Reynolds after he picked up yardage to the 9. So a pickup on that play of about 7 brings up 2nd and 3. And there's a fumble, and it may be a Maybank recovery. I believe it is. Getting up off of that ball was number 22, Jerry Poole. And he recovered the ball back on the 11. Maybank's ball, 1st and 10 from that point, and here goes another number 38 in. And that's going to replace Johnny Jenkins, either Henry Hyde or Robert Manning. We're going to have to determine during the halftime just exactly which of those boys is which. All good. And there's a man in motion. A long pass downfield. The man in motion was number 41, Joe Carson, and he threw way downfield, intending it for Don Busby, but Milford Jordan was in there to contend with him for that pass, and it just fell to the ground incomplete. One of the Dawson boys got an arm into the play and knocked that ball astray, and it did not go into the hands of its intended receiver, Don Busby. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. 2nd and still 10 needed. In motion. And there's the pitch out went to Jerry Groom. Groom threw far downfield, intending that for Henry Hyde, I believe. And the ball fell incomplete. Goldman Blackburn in there to contend with the intended receiver Hyde for the ball out around the 30. A little bit too tall for either of them. Just fell to the ground incomplete. 3rd and still 10 needed. 1st and 16. Or the 3rd and 10 with 1 minute and 16 remaining. There we go. The pitch back this time is to number 41. That is Joe Carson. Carson trying the left side of the line, trying to get a little bit of running room. And Don Sawyer moves in to bring him under after he picks up yardage out to the 13, apparently, is where the ball is. About 2 yards picked up, going to be 4th and still 8. 4th and still 8. Joe Carson shaking up a little bit on that last play. Had to be helped off the field. A punting situation for Maybank, and out to the 42. Randy Howard takes it, fumbles it momentarily. He's back downfield now, and he's still on his feet and is hammered out of bounds on the far side of the field. And let's see who the young fellow was who pushed him out. That is going to be, I believe, Jerry Poole. And also, let's see, number 21, Sanford Reed, 21 and 22. But the ball is back down inside the 10. It's another penetration for Dawson, 2 in a row here in the last few minutes. And let's see, 1st and goal from the 9. Only 53 seconds remaining on the clock. Randy Howard trying to go around the left side, and he didn't make it. He was barreled out of bounds over there by, let's see, Poole. And who was the other boy? Well, it looks like we're not going to get that number. We're still tracking the boy into the end zone. There it is. That is Don Busby. And let's see who the gentleman was. I believe it was Blackburn. Goldman Blackburn going in for the 6 points, making it now a 20-11 ball game with the point or points after yet to come. Maybank rose like they had built a brick wall out there, but Blackburn still got in for the 6. They're going to try for 2. And the give is to Murray. Murray trying the right side. No 2 points for that boy, as he is brought down hard in there by Reed, Jerry Brewer, and let's see, also Don Reynolds. So it's still 20-11 for Dawson, and they are leading the Maybank Panthers by that count with only 46 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Johnny Jenkins hobbling off the field again. Boy is doing a man-sized job with the handicap that he's playing with tonight. He has a rather severely injured ankle, and
a Johnny Jenkins in good condition could well mean the difference for the Maybank Panthers tonight on this by-district encounter with Dawson. Howard has teed the ball up on his own 40 now and is awaiting the official's whistle, preparatory to kicking it downfield. There it is. Howard advances on the ball, and he's going to try for an onside kick. Whoop! It may have resulted in just what Dawson wanted. It did. There's a recovery in there by, let's see, Jerry Blissett, 130-pound halfback. And he recovers the ball on the Maybank 43. There goes Johnny Jenkins back into the scramble once again. Only 36 seconds remain in the football game, the first half thereof anyway. Howard calling signals and a flat top tee. And back to pass, and he's dumped. In there fast to bring him down was Jerry Poole, back across the midfield stripe, down into Dawson territory. Clock still running, 15 seconds remaining, and the clock is stopped. And there is Joe Carson back in the lineup, out there discussing something with the referee. Offensive holding ruled against Dawson has been negated by a refusal on the part of Joe Carson. They elect to take, of course, the loss on that play. A loss of about 8 yards, bring up second and 18. Still 16 seconds to go. Howard under, calling the signals, plowing straight ahead into the arms of several of the Maybank Panthers. He just wants to run that clock out, take no chances on handing that ball around out there. In on the stop was Sanford Reed. And let's see, Kenneth Frosh. And there is the end of the first half of play with the Dawson Bulldogs leading by a score of 20-11. This portion of tonight's Maybank-Dawson game has been presented by the Security State Bank of Maybank. Use their checking account, savings account, auto and appliance financing facilities. Make the Security State Bank of Maybank your bank. And now we would like to present the halftime performance of the Maybank High School Band.
Wonderland. And at this number, we will feature our majorette.
concludes the halftime performance of the Maybank Panther Band. And as the second half of play gets underway, of course, our score is 20 for Dawson, 11 for the Maybank Panthers. This quarter of tonight's bi-district game between Maybank and Dawson is being presented by Tri-County Motors in Maybank, home of the car beautifully built to take care of itself, a beautiful Ford for 1961. Test drive it tomorrow. Randy Howard advances on the ball and gets a high end-over-end kick that is taken by Johnny Jenkins down on the 5, back out to the 10, the 15. He's out to the 20, still on his feet, finally wheeled down in there by several of the Dawson Bulldogs. And let's see, that is Goldman Blackburn and Ray Rogers. And we'll have to back up a little bit there and tell you that that was not Jenkins, it was Jerry Groom. Jenkins is 24, Jerry Groom is 31. And it's 1st and 10 for the Maybank Panthers. They own the ball on their own 20. The give is off to Groom, and Groom squirts through the left side of that line on a quick opener before he's upended by Randy Howard out past the 30 to the 31. A quick pickup of 11 yards to make it 1st and... just a moment. That evidently was just outside the 10, so it's 2nd down now. Still about a yard needed for a 1st. And in there, hard to pick up, about 5 yards for the 1st down, is, let's see, number 22. That is Jerry Poole. Poole is stopped by Milford Jordan. It is a 1st down this time, out on the 37. 11 minutes to go in this 3rd period. Fast ground offensive. All good. Giving off to his left halfback, and that is probably Groom, I believe.
Groom's on the carry.
And Groom is met in there by Milford Jordan and Newton Matthews. They stop out on the 40, a pickup of a little less than 3, call it 3 yards, however, 2nd and 7 needed for a 1st. All good calls and signals. Groom's in motion. The give, however, is to the right halfback, and that is Johnny Jenkins. Jenkins over the right side, out past the 40, out to the 42, and he is pulled under by Bill Humbert, number 73, and Milford Jordan, 62. And I believe that Jenkins has re-injured that ankle. He's hobbling off the field, being replaced in there by Henry Hyde.
Jenkins hurt over the boy.
That left ankle is really giving that boy a fit tonight. He's trying, but that ankle just won't let him go. 10 minutes and 14 seconds to go in this 3rd period. Flat top tee for Maybank. And the pitchback goes to Groom, but Groom is upended in the backfield by number 63, Gary Grass. 190-pound right guard in there. A loss on the play. Back to the 37. And that is about the... we'll have to find our marker across the field now. Back to the original line of scrimmage practically. 4th and still 9 needed. Joe Carson back to punt. Nice snap from center. Gets a beautiful high spiraling kick down to the Dawson 30. Taken by Randy Howard. And Howard is hit hard as he gets back up to the 38. And the first man to get to him is Terry Thomas. 150-pound end. However, there is a flag in the backfield. And we'll wait and see what the call is. The ball is being called back upfield. And it could possibly be a roughing the kicker penalty. 15 yards from the point of the foul, the 29 is going to bring the ball out to the 44. And that is going to be a 1st down. Illegal use of the hand zone defense, evidently. Doesn't sound right, but that's what the call is. So it's 4th down now, and about, let's see, that would make it 7, 8, 9. That's 4th and about 2.5 or 3 yards. Call it 3, and it's still a punting situation. Joe Carson standing back on his own 32. Start to play, the referee says. Snap to Carson. Once again, he gets a nice high spiraling kick. Once again, it's Howard to take it down on his 20 this time. And a lot of those Maybank boys are in there fast on him, and it's Joe Carson. The boy kicked the ball, it throws it out of bounds,
up on the 41. A 21-yard run back, and that makes that a 15-yard kick. First and 10, Dawson on their own 41. 9 minutes and 22 seconds still to go in this third period of play. A fast-moving third period. Howard telling the boys in the huddle what they're going to run. Now they're out and over the ball. Howard faking to one man, giving to another, and that is Murray who winds up with the ball into the left side of the line, out past the line of scrimmage to the 44, 3-yard pickup before Kenneth Price mows him down. 2nd and 7 coming up. Still 9 minutes to go. Howard, flat top tee. A pitch back, and it goes to Blackburn. Blackburn plows his way forward up to the 46. A 2-yard pickup on that. Jerry Poole and Don Reynolds make the stop along with Joe Carson and Henry Hyde. Third and still 5 needed for a first down. The going getting a little rough here. Howard on the signals. Faking to Murray, giving to Blackburn, and Blackburn's across the midfield stripe down into Maybank territory to the 46, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 from that point for the Dawson Bulldogs. Leading by a score of 20-11. Dawson eager to tack some more points on that scoreboard for themselves to ensure victory in this 5-district play. Howard having a little trouble getting rid of that ball, and he didn't do it because Jerry Poole moved in on him and pulled him down back on the midfield stripe. A 4-yard loss, bring up 2nd and 14. Tri-County Motors, your friendly Ford dealer in Maybank, invites you to come in and test drive Ford for 61. It's the car beautifully built to take care of itself, and when you test drive the 61 Ford, you'll find a new world of driving pleasure. Call on Andrew Gibbs or Thomas Reed for your 61 Ford test drive tomorrow, or if you're in the market for a better used car, ask them to show you their A1 used cars and pickups. They have a good selection right now for you to choose from. Expert repair service on all makes and models of cars is yours too at Tri-County Motors in Maybank. Call on them tomorrow. Larry Murray taking the handoff that time from Howard, and he is hit down hard as he gets back to the line of scrimmage, back across the midfield stripe and up to the 48. About a 2-yard pickup. Brings up 3rd and still 12 needed, and back to quick kick is Randy Howard. And it gets off a nice high one. It looks like it may, no, it's not going to go into the end zone. It's going to roll dead inside the 10 down to about the 6 or 7. A beautiful kick off of the toe of Randy Howard. From the 48 down to the 7, it's going to be a 41-yard kick. 6 minutes and 52 seconds still to go in this third period of football. 20 for the Dawson Bulldogs, 11 for the Maybank Panthers. 1st and 10 for Maybank from their own 7. And the give off is to Jerry Groom, I believe. Yes, it was, and he was fast through the right side of that line, out past the 15 to the 18. A quick handoff, a quick opener, and Joel Sawyer mowed him down after he picked up a first down plus 1 out to the 18. 6.5 minutes to go in this third period. All good, calling the signals. Giving off to number 21. That is Sanford Reed, and Ray Rogers pulls him under along with Newton Matthews. Out past the 20, just barely. Call it a 3-yard pickup, bring up 2nd and 7. Billy Allgood on the signals. Give is to Jerry Groom. Groom to the 5, still on his feet. He gets out to around the 35, and he's tripped up in there by number 41, Blackburn. Henry Hyde was on the carry that time. Hyde had been blocked out of the play, and Groom tripped over him. He tried to leap over him, but Hyde was just a little bit too high there, and he couldn't get over him. So that was the mix-up on that play. And there goes number 41. That is Joe Carson rambling down the midfield side, taking up a first down. Goldman Blackburn pulls him under. His opposite number on the other team. 41 against 41. It's on the Maybank. No, it's on the Dawson 49. And boy, believe you me, these Maybank Panthers have really got some quick openers. There goes Jerry Groom, twisting, squirming, still on his feet, inside the 45. Falls forward to the 43, and Ray Rogers is the man that had a hold on his ankles. Pick up on that play of 6, bring up 2nd and 4. Panthers are out of the huddle fast, up and over the ball. Billy Allgood looking over his offense, calling the signals. In motion is Groom. The give, however, is to Reed, and Reed plows into the center of that line, moves the ball up to the 40, and in there to stop him was James Houck. And also Ray Rogers, number 55. Not much yardage needed for a first down now, about a foot. Ball inside the 40 to just about the 39. All good on the signals. And the give is to number 41, Joe Carson. Carson dragging about 4 of them with him up to the 35. Just short of the 35. Bill Humbert was his main deterrent at that point. Less than 4 minutes remaining in the third period. Maybank trailing 20-11. First and 10. Jerry Groom's got the ball again. Picks up 5 to the 30. It may be a 6-yard pickup. And making the stop was Larry Murray, along with Randy Howard. 6-yard pickup, 2nd and about 4. And these Maybank partisans are yelling, go, go, go. All good getting off to Reed. There may have been a fumble on the play. Carson rather. Joe Carson hit hard in there. And evidently his forward progress had been stopped. Grice and Bill Humbert. Gary Grice and Bill Humbert making the stop on the 30. Third and still at 4 yards needed for a first. Actually almost 5 now. Pitch back goes to Groom. Groom into the right side of the line. He gets close to a first down, but not quite. Putting the stopper on him was Don Sawyer. It's going to be up to the 26 and a half. It's going to be 4th and maybe a yard and a half. It's a hard decision for the Panthers to make at this point, but they're going to try to run it. They're down on the 27. And the give is a fumble, and the recovery by Maybank downfield, but was the play dead back upfield? It was. The play was dead back up on the 26, and if it is going to stand like it, it's not going to be a first down. They're going to bring the chain into measure, however. Joe Carson has asked for a measurement. Making the stop was Collins Bumpers. And it looks like it's not going to be even close enough to measure. So Dawson has held, and they take over 1st and 10 on their own 26. 2 minutes still to go in this third period. Out wide to the right is Jamie Prater. And they give this time is off to Larry Murray. Murray horse-collared in there by number 29, Don Reynolds. And also Joe Carson then on the stop. Yardage picked up about, 1.5, call it 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Prater wide to the right once again. Howard back to pass, looks and throws. It's complete to Prater. Prater hustled out of bounds by number 31, Jerry Groom. Up around the 40, outside the 40. It's going to be enough for a first, so it's 1st and 10. Dawson on their own 40. The ball just outside the 40 by about the length of it. Groom in there fast on Prater. Prater was wide open, however, for the pass. Out wide to the left this time is Jerry Blissett. Howard giving off to Murray. Murray picks up a couple, maybe out to the 42. Before he is hustled down in there by Kenneth Gray. And let's see. Jerry Brewer and Joe Carson. A minute and 10 seconds
2 yards picked up.
in the third period. Out to the 42. Prater wide to the right once again. Howard giving off to Murray. Murray got nowhere. Stacked up hard in there. And on the bottom of that stack is Jerry Poole, one of the first men to get to him. Also in on him was Sanford Reed and Robert Maybank. 3 yardage picked up, third and still 8. Prater wide to the right once again. Howard is going to run it around the left side, and run it he does. He's finally tripped up on the far sideline as he passes the 45. And I believe it was Sanford Reed. That's right. Sanford Reed and Robert Maybank whistling him out of bounds after he picked up about 5 out to the 48. So it's going to be third and still about 3 needed for a first. Fourth down, 30 seconds. 4th and 3. And they're going to try for it. And they made it too, brother. Taking that handoff was Murray, and he rambled into the left side of that line, cleared the Maybank 45, got up to the 42 before Robert Maybank and Jerry Poole bring him under. 1st and 10. Dawson on the Maybank 42. 10 seconds to go in this third period. Still another full 12 minutes of bi-district high school football between Dawson and Maybank. There's the end of the third period of play. Dawson leading by a score of 20-11 for the Maybank Panthers. This quarter of tonight's bi-district game between Maybank and Dawson has been presented by Tri-County Motors in Maybank. Home of the car beautifully built to take care of itself. The beautiful Ford for 1961. Test drive it. So that's going to bring us up to the fourth and final period of play in this encounter. And the City Drugstore in Maybank is happy to be the co-sponsor of this portion of the football game between Maybank and Dawson. Shop the jewelry counter at City Drug for quality, distinctive costume jewelry. Setting up wide to the left is Don Sawyer, and wide to the right is Jamie Prater. No, that calls for a check of the signals for some reason or other. Evidently because the head linesman was not over on the sideline where he was supposed to have been. Now let's see, they've got to reset the ball out there. They're coming out to the 42. Dawson, the ball had been placed inside the 40 at the 38. Then the officials noticed it as Dawson came out of the huddle. So it's Prater wide to the right once again and Sawyer wide to the left. Howard calling the signals, faking to Murray, giving to Blackburn. Blackburn is bulldogged as he gets into the Maybank backfield by Don Reynolds. However, he picked up about 5 yards on that play, and it's going to bring up second and about 5 needed for a first. Make the City Drugstore at Maybank your drugstore. Yes, just as you choose a family doctor, you should choose a family druggist. So call on the friendly pharmacist at City Drugstore to compound your prescriptions just as your doctor orders with fresh, potent drugs. Also, be sure to shop now for Christmas gifts. Use the layaway if you wish. And be sure to register for the drawing to be held Christmas Eve at the City Drugstore. You may win a train set for a boy or a doll set for the girl. Nothing to buy, no obligation, just register at City Drugstore. Phone Tulip 73711 to have your prescription compounded by a registered pharmacist at City Drugstore in Maybank. 4-yard pickup on that last play, 2nd and 6. Here's Blackburn flanked wide to the left. And the give is off to Jamie Prater. And Prater, hard little fellow to bring down. Finally gets up to the 31 before Joe Carson, shaken up bad on that last play, is able to put enough power into it to pull him down. Oh, Jamie Prater weighing 145 and Carson at 175. But Prater was still trying to get on down that field. However, Carson said, "That's far enough, little fella." And he stopped him at the 31. Offside against the Maybank Panthers has been refused by Dawson because they picked up a first down in the process of Prater's run. Just outside the 30, 1st and 10 Dawson. And the fake is to Prater after a give to, I believe, Murray. Or is it Blackburn? Don Reynolds makes the stop on him. I think it was Murray. Pickup of about 5 up to the 26. And
second down and 5.
Brings up second and 5. Out wide to the right is Joel Sawyer. Wide to the left is Blackburn. Howard giving to Prater. Prater into the right side of that line. Picks up a couple, maybe 3, as Robert Maybank and Sanford Reed combined to bring him down. It is a 2-yard pickup to the 24. Bring up third, and still about 3. A long 3. And there's the give off to Murray. Murray has picked up that first down inside the 20 to about the 19. About the 19 and a half. Actually, it's another penetration. It's a first down. And Maybank finds themselves in a position of having to score 2 touchdowns and at the same time prevent Dawson from scoring anymore with only 10 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in this game. A big pileup in there after Howard handed off to Larry Murray. And Kenneth Price and
Blackburn was the fellow who carried the ball that time.
Sanford Reed and Kenneth Price make the stop on him. He picked up a couple to the 17 and a half. Second and still 8 needed. Prater and Sawyer wide. The give, however, is to Murray, and he goes over left tackle. Brought him down in there by Reed, Poole, and let's see, number 25 is Robert Maybank again. Picked up about 4 up to the 13. So it's going to be third and still about a yard. A keeper by Howard. He's now on the left side, inside the 5, across the goal line at Coffin Corner, and that's another 6 points. Howard on a fast-moving play, and brother, he can really unreel him. And of course, the Dawson partisans across the field going hog wild over that, and you can hear the siren in the background. That makes it 26-11, and puts the Maybank Panthers in an almost, well, it's a hole that they're just going to have a heck of a time getting out of. We'll put it that way. 15 points behind at this point of the game. Howard is back to pass. He's not going to get rid of that ball. And then on him a Poole and Maybank and Busby and Gray. 4 or 5 of the Maybank Panthers in fast on Howard to keep him from throwing that ball into the end zone to pick up 2 more points, making it 28-11. So the Maybank Panthers have a long way to go. Trailing 15 points with 9 minutes, 18 seconds still remaining. Choose your druggist as carefully as you choose your doctor. Your doctor and your druggist work hand in hand to safeguard your health. And when you take your prescriptions to City Drug Store in Maybank for compounding, you can be sure that it will be handled from the time it's received until it's carefully placed in your hands by a competent registered pharmacist. He'll use the newest and most potent drugs and will follow your doctor's orders to the letter. You can call your prescriptions into City Drugs too by dialing Tulip 73711. Register for the train set and doll set to be given away Christmas Eve. That's at City Drug Store, prescription headquarters in Maybank. Whoop! And there is one that may cost Dawson a little bit more yardage than they thought. Howard attempting to kick, just brushed the ball with his foot, maybe trying another onside kick, and when he did, it just barely did roll off of the tee and roll forward about 3 yards to the 43. And it is ruled that it's going to be Maybank's ball at that point. So the Panthers have a very decided break, and believe me, they need it at this point of the game, trailing 15 points. However, 2 touchdowns could really spell the difference in this game with a couple of points after. They still got a good chance. All good. Pitching back to Jerry Groom. Groom tipped up as he tries to go around the right side, and they're making a stop on him with Joel Sawyer. However, there is a flag on the play, and offsides is indicated against Dawson. Of course, the Panthers are going to take that. That'll put them up in business 1st and 5 on the Dawson 38. Still 9 minutes to go. And that 5-yard penalty didn't hurt the Maybank cause in the slightest. I believe the injury to Johnny Jenkins is the one thing that has hurt the Maybank Panthers the most. And Johnny's been trying hard tonight, but he just can't get going. Back to pass as Joe Carson throws a long one downfield. It's like, it was intended for number 31, Jerry Groom down there. And as Jerry turned to take the ball, he slipped and it went over his shoulder. Goldman Blackman was down there to protect against the pass, along with Randy Howard. But Groom had worked himself out into the open around the 10-yard line. And as he turned to take the ball, it looked like he slipped. And the ball went over his shoulder, and he couldn't pull it in. And I believe that he was hurt worse on that play than anybody on the field. He's certainly berating himself out there, but no need to. He couldn't help it. He turned to take it, and it looked like he slipped. A give off this time to number 41, I believe, Joe Carson. Ray Rogers made the stop on him after he picked up yardage to the 36. So he's going to need a couple of more yards for a first. About 3, actually. About 2.5 or 3 yards. 8.5 minutes to go. All good checking over his offense and Dawson's defense. Pitch back is to Reed, and Reed is brought down in that backfield. And there hard to get him was Joel Sawyer. And that hurt Maybank to the tune of about 7 or 8 yards. Wait just a moment, though. The ball is brought up to the 35. And the Dawson fans don't like that. We received no indication from the officials as to why it was brought back up to the 35, but it's 4th and 2. All good calling signals. And he gives off the groove. Groove is off and running. He's picked up in there by number 55. That is Ray Rogers. Actually, I believe that Groom tripped over Rogers' leg after Rogers had been blocked down. So it's enough picked up for a first down to the 25. It's 1st and 10 Maybank from that point. This portion of tonight's Maybank-Dawson Bi-District game is being co-sponsored by the Boatwright Hardware Store in Maybank. See them for your Dearborn and Hearth glow heaters, Pittsburgh paints, appliances, and furniture. Still 8 minutes to go. 1st and 10 for Maybank, and we find out that the ball being placed back at the original line of scrimmage a while ago was due to the fact that the officials called it an incompleted forward pass. There's a jump pass. Incomplete. And that stops the clock for 7 minutes and 55 seconds to go. Raymond Lewis in there fast to bat that ball down. Defense pulled in tight on that play, and of course the jump pass was a little bit hard to complete. All good calling the signal. Pitching back to Carson. Carson following his interference on the left side of that line before he is picked up and thrown down by, let's see, Randy Howard, number 22. In on every play. It is a first down, however, and the penetration to the 14, it appears. What it is, the 14. 7.5 minutes to go. And 8 points would certainly look good for the Maybank Bulldogs on the scoreboard at this point. They would still be trailing by about 7. They give off from Allgood to his left halfback, Jerry Groom. James Hope makes the stop at the 10 or 9. A.L. Jacobs is the boy who made the stopper on Groom. Quick opener in there. And we're getting music from the Malakoff High School band across the way. 7 minutes to go. Allgood calling his signals. And he is brought down before he can get rid of that ball. And there on him was number 77, A.L. Jacobs again. A loss of about 2 or 3 back out to the 12. So it's 3rd and still about 8 yards needed for a first. 6.5 minutes. Time a very valuable factor. Allgood pitching back to Groom. He's got it. He made it. Get him, but he couldn't pull him down. He couldn't get close enough to him. run because Jerry Graham, believe you me, was moving on down the road, and that boy can certainly travel. That makes it 17 for Maybank and 26 for Dawson. And it's not going to be hard to figure out what the Panthers are going to do. They're going to try for 2 now. That'll pull them up to 19, only 7 points behind, and they could either tie or go ahead. And it looks like that number 27, Jesse Warburton's coming back there to hold for Joe Carson. But the pass goes instead to a short man, and I believe it was Reed. And they didn't pick up the 2 points they wanted so badly. So it's going to be just a little bit difficult now. The most they could make on the next touchdown in the event that they are fortunate enough to get across the goal line would be 9 points. And that, rather 8 points, and that would still leave them a point behind the 26 that the Dawson Bulldogs have managed to amass. And of course we have the usual dog on the field at this point. You'll find everything you would expect to find in a modern hardware store at the Boatwright Hardware Store in Maybank. They're your friends and neighbors and welcome the chance to be of service to you. Boatwright Hardware Store in Maybank carries a full line of hardware, plus the nationally famous Dearborn and Haas flow heaters to keep your home comfortable and free of the winter chill. Also see Boatwright Hardware for your wallpaper, Pittsburgh paints, farm supplies, tools, furniture, floor coverings, and appliances. You'll get friendly, courteous service at Boatwright Hardware Company in Maybank. Well, the dog finally decided that was enough of the football game for him, and he just took off in the other direction. And, well, he may change his mind and come back yet. However, we're back to play once again. And let's see, number 32, that is Don Busby kicking. They're trying an onside kick. However, it didn't travel the necessary 10 yards. So it may or may not be Dawson's ball. A recovery by Sanford Reed. And it is Dawson's ball on the Maybank 47. So the offside kick try backfired on Maybank and gave Dawson the ball on the Maybank 47 with 6 minutes and 22 seconds still to play. And of course Dawson will probably stay on the ground running out that clock as much as they possibly can. Jimmy Prater flanked wide to the right. A give off to Blackburn. Blackburn hot-footing it around the right side of that line. He's up to the 35, the 30, still on his feet. He may go all the way. No, a desperation last-minute tackle by, let's see, number 29, it looks like, Don Reynolds, over around the 15. And it sets up a 1st and 10 situation for Dawson on the Maybank 15. Joe Carson shaken up severely on that last play. He got to his feet and tried to go back into the game, but the coach says, not right now, boy. You're taking a pretty good beating out there. And believe me, Carson is really playing this ball game to the hilt, as are the rest of the Maybank Panthers. However, that weight is a very deciding factor. Howard handing that ball off to Larry Murray, number 40, trying the right side of the line, picks up about 2 or 3 up to about the 12. Kenneth Bosch and Don Reynolds put the stopper on him. It is a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7 now coming. 5 minutes and 45 seconds still to go. 26-17. Dawson over Maybank at this point. Howard calling the signals. Back to pass. Looks, throws. It's complete. It is complete into the end zone to Joe Sawyer, and that makes it 32-17. With still the points after yet to come. And Joe Carson comes back on the field and into the lineup for the Maybank Panthers. Evidently to stop a proposed 2-point try by Dawson, and whom will he be replacing? Evidently, it is number 35, Ray Sutton. They're going to try for 2. Howard passing way out of the hands of the intended receiver. I believe that was Prater. No, it's Sawyer once again. Falls to the earth incomplete. Leaves the score 32 for Dawson, 17 for Maybank. Boatwright Hardware Store in Maybank reminds you that the cold blast of winter just around the corner. Is your home adequately prepared with a sufficient number of heaters of the correct capacity? If not, stop in tomorrow at Boatwright Hardware and select those heaters you need from their complete stock of Dearborn and Hearthglow heaters. Every style, size, and price range is in stock for your selection. See Boatwright Hardware, too, for your furniture, appliances, wallpapers, Pittsburgh paints, and farm supplies. Boatwright Hardware Store wants to say congratulations to the 1960 Panthers and wish them continued success in the years to come, and of course into tonight's bi-district game with Dawson. Randy Howard kicking off once again for the Dawson Bulldogs. It's a line drive taken by Jerry Groom at the 15. He's back up to the 20, the 25, the 30, and at the 33 or 4, he is pulled down in there by number 55, Ray Rogers. It's on the 35, just inside the 35. Going into the lineup for Maybank is, of course, Billy Allgood, the quarterback. Allgood, weighing in at 119 pounds, is quite possibly one of the smallest men on the field. We've seen action all night long. Jerry Groom in motion, takes a pitch back from Allgood, and he's off to the races. Oh, he got picked up as he crossed the 50-yard line. Making a stop on him was Randy Howard again. And like I say, Howard is all over the field, but he got the ball up to the 47. I think if Howard hadn't gotten his hands on him, Groom would have been gone. There was a man coming in from the side. We didn't get his number, but I don't think he had a chance at Groom until he was slowed down by Howard. So it's 1st and 10 for Maybank on the Dawson 47. 1st and 10, Maybank. Allgood leading the boys out of the huddle, up and over the ball. In motion is Groom. The pitch back goes to Groom. Groom to the 45. Upended at the 45 by Prater, Sawyer, and let's see, number 77, A.L. Jacobs. He falls forward to the 43. It is a 4-yard pickup almost. So call it 2nd and 6. 4 minutes and 15 seconds still remaining in our football game. 15 points behind. A hard row to hoe for Maybank. In motion this time is Carson. Carson taking the pitch back. Oh, he's back to pass and gets to the midfield stripe, and that leg buckled under him. And that is only 5 yards away from the scene of where that leg was injured a few plays back, and it just completely collapsed on Carson as he tried to brace himself with it and throw downfield. I believe he had a receiver open in the person of Jerry Groom down there, but of course it's hard to say which of those boys downfield would have been his intended target. And Carson, trying valiantly to get up, has fallen back to the turf out there, squarely on the 50-yard line, where his leg failed to support him as he started to throw downfield. And that loss puts the ball back on the midfield stripe, and it's going to be 3rd and 13 as play goes back in once again. Joe Carson has been sent to the dressing room by Coach Allgood. He's played a whale of a ball game, and the coach says that's just enough, boy. We can't expect too much out of you. Jerry Groom takes a handoff now from Billy Allgood. He moves up to the 45, up to the 44. Before he is wheeled down in there by A.L. Jacobs and Jamie Prater. The coach of the Dawson Bulldogs, Ed Burleson, shakes Joe Carson's hand as he walks by, telling me he played a nice ball game, and that's what he said. That's the understatement of the year. 3.5 minutes to go. Allgood giving off to, let's see, that will probably, of course, it can't be Carson. It's number 21, Reed. A.L. Jacobs up in Reed as he gets up to the 42. And, of course, that being a 4th down try and sufficient yardage was not picked up for a 1st down, Dawson will take over. 4th and, well, they still need 5 for the 1st down, so it goes over to Dawson. Sawyer flanked wide to the right. Howard giving off to Murray. Murray is off like a shot and is ridden down Bulldog fashion from behind by number 25, Robert Maybank. Maybank pursuing him hotly from about the 35 on down and brought him down on the 25. 1st and 10 for the Dawson Bulldogs, just outside the 25. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in our game. 32-17, Dawson over Maybank. A give off this time to number 15. That is Jerry Blissett. Blissett, finding quite a bit of difficulty getting out of the backfield, finally does manage to elude 2 or 3 of the Maybank Panthers, get across the line of scrimmage, and then he's brought down in there by Reed and number 25, Robert Eubank. Sanford Reed and Robert Eubank making the stop. Pickup of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8. Oh, a fumble, and let's see who recovered that one. And that is Collins Bumpers in there at quarterback now, replacing Randy Howard. The fumble was recovered by whom? There's a flag in the Maybank backfield. And the penalty, whatever it is, evidently rests with Maybank. And Maybank did recover that fumble, so of course they refused the penalty against Dawson, illegal use of the hands on offense. They'll take over 1st and 10 on their own 24. Billy Allgood back in at the quarterback slot. And believe me, seeing Allgood out there, it's hard to believe that a little man such as he could take a pounding that he has throughout this entire game. Because, of course, being the quarterback, most of the tackles are aimed at him. The handoff went to Jerry Groom, and James Houck stops Groom after he picks up about 6 or 7 out to the 31. Set up 2nd and still about 3 or 4 needed. Call it about 3.5. Billy Allgood calling those signals. Jerry Groom in motion. Oh, the give is off to Robert Eubank. Eubank drops the ball but picks it up, tries to reverse his field, and is brought down by Jim Bruce, number 32, and they're on him hard. So it's actually a loss of a couple of yards. Bring up 2nd and about 5 now. 3rd down. 1 minute and 14 seconds to go. And of course, trailing 15 points with only these very few seconds remaining in the football game. The Maybank Panthers have gone as far in the 1960 football wars as they are going to go. A give off now to Sanford Reed. Reed trying around the left side, clears out to the 31, and that was all for him as A.L. Jacobs and James Houck move in to pull him in at about about 3 yards short of the original line of scrimmage. There goes Jim Bruce off the field, replaced by Jerry Blissett on defense. And also going off is Goldman Blackburn, who played a very fine game. 44 seconds is all that remains of this one. 4th down and 5 for Maybank, and going back in a punt situation is Jerry Groom, standing on his own 20, the line of scrimmage at 31. A high snap from center, however, Jerry controls the ball, gets his toe into it. It's taken by Randy Howard up on the 40, his own 38, and he is pushed out of bounds at the midfield stripe by, I believe, Robert Eubank and the boy who kicked the ball, Jerry Groom. So with 35 seconds remaining on the clock, it's 1st and 10 for Dawson, squarely on the 50-yard line. Collins Bumpers is in at the quarterback post. A.L. Jacobs going off the field. He is replaced in there by Larry Murray. 35 seconds, and that's going to cost you boys 5 yards, says the referee, as they try to get in a last-minute substitution. Delay of the game is going to be charged against them. So 1st and 15 is the call now. 55 yards away from the double stripe. It's still Bumpers at quarter. Bumpers gives off to Murray. Murray drops the ball, and then he, in turn, is dropped by several of the Maybank Panthers. Jerry Brewer, and also in on the stop was Ray Sutton, along with Jerry Poole and Kenneth Gray. And 26 seconds now remain. Dawson is being charged another 5 yards for the delay of the game. The ball going back to the 38. Start the clock again. Jim Bruce has replaced Larry Murray in the Dawson backfield. Flat top tee for Dawson. Connors Bumpers giving off to number 30, I believe. Is there 30? Yes, it is. David Clark. And Clark is brought down as he gets to the line of scrimmage by Jerry Poole and Kenneth Gray, but there is a flag down. And it's going to be some more penalty distance against Dawson. 5. Going to be a 15-yarder this time, clear back to the 23. And let's see, here comes a fresh jersey in for Maybank, Morris Neighbors, number 20. He has replaced Ray Sutton. Illegal use of the hands on offense is called against Dawson. And let's see, Charles Langford has been replaced in the lineup. I'm sorry we didn't get his replacement. Blissett is the boy. Collins Bumpers handing off to Blissett. Blissett trying to go around the right side. There's nothing there for him as several of the Panthers pull in on him to bring him down. And there is the end of our football game. And the final score is 32 for the Dawson Bulldogs and 17 for the Maybank Panthers. The Dawson team, plenty of speed, plenty of weight, and it didn't appear that any of their star players were on the injured list as they came into this bi-district tussle against the Maybank Panthers. The Panthers hampered by injuries to several of their key players, namely Johnny Jenkins, and then of course throughout the game some of the lighter boys were taking quite a beating out there on that field and were hurt at several instances. The final score once again 32 for Dawson, 17 for the Maybank Panthers. This broadcast of this bi-district football game between Maybank and Dawson has been brought to you by the following Maybank merchants: the Flanagan Chevrolet Company, the Security State Bank, Tri-County Motors, Boatwright Hardware Store, and the City Drug Store. We now return you to our main studios.